I don't feel like for me personally that sex was just sex.
Okay.
In the way that we generally use the term.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Explain more.
Okay. What I like, why I like it, how much I like it, pointed back to something else that had nothing to do with sex.
Okay.
It was just showing up in sex.
Right.
And so for me personally, to have a conversation about sex is always an attempt to talk about something else that is impacting the sex. For me, one of the things is how I see women shifting. I wasn't shit for a long time on how I was treating women. You know, and I remember hearing women say stuff like, men don't like women. Men hate, or that man doesn't like women, or you don't like women. And I was like, I don't understand. I never could understand what that meant. I was having a lot of sex. I was out here wilding out, was doing all kind of crazy shit in the acts of sex. But I had a perception about women and my access to them, what I felt their role was, based on what I felt their value and perception, and my perception of their value was.
Right.
And as I'm getting older, I feel that as that is shifting, so is how I perceive sex.
Yeah. Isn't that wonderful, though? To have that.
It is.
That aha moment. Yeah.
Because it was like, if I want to do these certain things to a woman, can I really say I like them?
Sometimes unhealthy sexual behavior expresses itself in compulsive fantasies, compulsive acts. And we don't know where that comes from, but 9 times out of 10, my opinion, for anybody out there that might be like, that shit ain't in no book. My opinion is it stems from images that we've seen over and over and over that we misinterpreted. So pornography for one. Messages that we've been given by people around us that never had therapy. You know, it could be friends, older brothers, even, you know, mothers and fathers, and or just like, you know, people who took care of us. And never having the opportunity to ask questions that would explain what we were experiencing or what we were seeing or what we had confusion about.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of societal messages over the years that have told us how we are supposed to treat each other. And if we took those messages in, then we are going to continue, particularly as a Black community, to treat each other like shit. It's only until you get back to, like what we've been saying, our authentic selves, and have an awareness of where we may have fallen short over the years, get some help with those things, and communicate in a real and honest way without attaching shame to it. Because there's a difference between shame and guilt, right?
Yeah.
We can talk about that. But until we create space, safe spaces for each other, we may never get that memo. We may never get it.
And what I feel you're describing, and again, this is my, like you said, my opinion.
This is my opinion.
It ain't in
Don't
no
be
book,
coming after
but
me.
at least in terms of the definition,
We could write a book about this shit, though, you know.
that's intimacy.
But some of us, I'm going to lump myself into this one. Some of us never understood that intimacy does not always have to do with sex. Most of the time, it has nothing to do with sex. Intimacy is about how you communicate to another person about what you feel about them. And it's also within you. So how do I feel about me?
Yeah.
Where's my level of self-love? And if I have my level of self-love on the up and up, then I'm not going to let you treat me any kind of way.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, then you're not the right person for me. We don't always understand intimacy. Or the messages we've been given says intimacy is about sex. It's not.
It's not.
Intimacy goes back to communication.
Yeah, and safe and feeling.
And feeling safe.
And I think too of an image that pops into my head, because I think like in images sometimes, like energy that can flow both directions. Like there's a level of synchronicity.
Yeah. It's a synergy almost in between two beings or multiple beings. Some people, have more than just one partner. But it's the allowance of being who you are and having acceptance from that other person. And feeling at ease with expressing those things to that other person and having it reciprocated.